Anti-Semitism? An inquiry. A 10-minute inquiry. Most people think they already know what anti-Semitism means. Hatred of Jews, case closed. But a label is not an explanation. The real question is not what anti-Semitism is. The real question is why it existed, why it persisted, why it repeatedly reappeared across centuries, kingdoms, empires, revolutions, and modern states. If economics caused it, why did it survive changing economic systems? If nationalism caused it, why did it exist long before modern nationalism? If tribalism caused it, why did it repeatedly emerge inside civilizations that claimed universal truths rather than tribal loyalties? Perhaps anti-Semitism belongs to a much larger pattern. Perhaps the issue is not merely hatred. Perhaps the issue is legitimacy. Human beings do not merely fight over land. They do not merely fight over wealth. They do not merely fight over power. They fight over legitimacy. Who possesses truth? Who possesses authority? Who possesses the right to define reality for everyone else? These questions have shaped civilizations for thousands of years. Nowhere is this more visible than within the Abrahamic family. Judaism, Christianity, Islam. 3 religions, 1 patriarch, 1 sacred ancestry, 1 sacred history. Yet 3 different conclusions, 3 different revelations, 3 different claims to legitimacy. Each claims truth, each claims authority, each claims continuity with Abraham. And here, a fundamental problem emerges. If Judaism is true, Christianity and Islam are mistaken. If Christianity is true, Judaism and Islam are mistaken. If Islam is true, Judaism and Christianity are mistaken. At least 2 must be wrong. Perhaps all 3 are wrong. How do we determine which one is correct? That question stands at the center of this inquiry. A Jew points to revelation. A Christian points to revelation. A Muslim points to revelation. But revelation cannot settle the dispute, because each side appeals to its own revelation. The argument becomes circular. Judaism is true because Judaism says so. Christianity is true because Christianity says so. Islam is true because Islam says so. But how does humanity decide between them? By what standard? That is where the logical positivist asks a simple question. How do we know? Not how do we believe, how do we know? What observation confirms the claim? What experiment confirms the claim? What evidence settles the dispute? What universally accessible method allows humanity to determine which revelation is true? No such method exists. And that absence may explain why these conflicts never disappear. Human beings crave certainty. Certainty provides meaning. Certainty provides identity. Certainty provides belonging. Certainty provides legitimacy. But certainty is not evidence. A person may be absolutely certain and completely mistaken. History demonstrates this repeatedly. Catholics and Protestants were certain, yet they fought one another. Sunni and Shia were certain, yet they fought one another. The closer the relationship, the more intense the legitimacy dispute often became. Why? Because the conflict was not between strangers. It was between rival heirs claiming the same inheritance. The dispute was not over ordinary politics. The dispute was over truth. Who possesses it? Who inherits it? Who speaks legitimately? That question survived kings. That question survived empires. That question survived revolutions. Because legitimacy often survives longer than political systems. Now consider another question. What makes Abrahamic religions historically distinctive? Every civilization has known violence. Every civilization has known conquest. Every civilization has known cruelty. Violence itself is not unique. The question is whether the structure of the truth claim is unique. Most ancient religions were local. Their gods belonged to particular cities, particular peoples, particular regions. Your gods could coexist beside mine. My gods could coexist beside yours. Conflict certainly existed, but theological conformity was not necessarily the objective. Then something changed. Truth became universal. Revelation became universal. Legitimacy became universal. The claim was no longer that a belief was true for one community. The claim was that it was true for all humanity. The implications were enormous. If a truth applies only to me, disagreement is manageable. If a truth applies to everyone, disagreement becomes a problem. If salvation is universal, rejection becomes significant. If legitimacy is universal, rivals become dangerous. This may help explain why theological disputes became so enduring. Now consider Europe. Before Christianity, Europe contained many gods. Greek gods, Roman gods, Celtic gods, Germanic gods, Norse gods. Ancient Europeans often borrowed gods from one another, adopted gods from one another, integrated foreign deities into existing traditions. Then Christianity arrived. A religion born in the Semitic world entered Europe carrying a different conception of truth. One revelation, one legitimacy, one path, one salvation. The question is not whether Christianity transformed Europe. It clearly did. The question is whether it transformed Europe's relationship to religious difference itself. Theological disagreement became increasingly important. Heresy became important. Orthodoxy became important. Correct belief became important. And eventually, Europe experienced centuries of religious conflict. The issue was no longer merely political authority. The issue was legitimate truth. Who possessed it? Who did not? Now let us return to anti-Semitism. Perhaps anti-Semitism cannot be understood in isolation. Perhaps it belongs to a broader struggle concerning legitimacy. Judaism supplied the foundations of Christianity. Christianity emerged from Judaism. Islam inherited prophets from both. The relationship was never simple. Dependence and rivalry existed simultaneously. Inheritance and competition existed simultaneously. The outsider was also part of the foundation. That tension never fully disappeared. Power complicated matters further. Power always seeks legitimacy. Kings sought legitimacy. Empires sought legitimacy. States sought legitimacy. Legitimacy transforms power into righteousness. Power alone commands obedience. Legitimacy commands loyalty. That is why political authority repeatedly aligns itself with sacred authority. Theology legitimizes power. Power protects theology, or at least what is presented as theology. The pattern repeats across history. Different centuries, different governments, different empires, different vocabulary. The structure remains recognizable. Someone possesses truth. Someone challenges truth. Someone stands outside legitimacy. Someone becomes the outsider. Anti-Semitism is one expression of that larger pattern, but it is not the only expression. The same civilization that persecuted Jews often persecuted heretics. The same civilization that condemned outsiders often condemned rival believers. Different groups occupied the role. The mechanism remained. This inquiry therefore asks a question larger than anti-Semitism itself. How do civilizations establish legitimacy? Through revelation or through verification? Through sacred authority or through evidence? Through certainty or through inquiry? The purpose of this inquiry is not agreement. The purpose of this inquiry is investigation. Perhaps you will agree with these arguments. Perhaps you will reject them entirely. That is your decision. But the questions remain. If multiple communities claim exclusive truth and no universally accepted method exists to determine which claim is correct, what happens to legitimacy? What happens to coexistence? What happens to civilization? And if truth claims cannot be empirically verified, by what standard should humanity accept them? Why? Please visit www.reasonandrevolt.com to read the complete essay.